Hi everyone, I thought I would come back and show you another scrapbook layout that I've done and how I've created it from start to finish, just so that you can get a bit more of a hang on, about what you can do with MDS and how you can create your own. So again, starting with a 12 by 12, so I'm just going to insert and add a page to the file I already have. And I need to start off with my background papers. So come to Designer Series paper, and I've used the Downtown Grunge #1. So I'm going to pop that in, like so. And then what I did was actually come and put some photo boxes in. So I wanted 3 photo boxes. And have them all lined up. Now I can click on these 3 and not group them together but align them. So I'm going to align them so that they're spaced evenly vertically, and that just sort of move them down a little bit, and then I can align them and space them evenly horizontally, and that should make the spacings in between here the same. So I'm just going to group them, and I can shrink them down to the size that I want, and that way they'll all be the same. I think that's roughly about how I had it. Okay, and then I'm just going to ungroup them again and add some of my photos to them. So I've got my photos of my little boys over here. Well, they're not so little anymore, when they were little. And I'm going to grab this one and pop it in there. I think I had. I'm going to have to double check these. Now, when you get them in, you can actually adjust how much you want to go in the box. I'm just going to flip back so I can see where I had them. Right. Okay. And what I had. So the second one I had was this one here. So I'm just going to drag and pop that in as well. And shift it to where I want it. Now this one I originally had a photo on, but decided that that wasn't really what I wanted. So I'm just going to group these together again and make that just a tad bigger. Okay, ungroup them. Now over on here, I'm going to put a text box on here. So what I did to start with was actually popped a punch on it. So I popped a square punch, and then I can put it over the top of this photo box. I'm not sure whether there is another way to do it, but this is the way I was going to do it. And that way I can have it the same size. May just need to come a smidge bigger. Like that. So they'll use that for my text box later on. Now I'm going to add a, actually group them all together. I might need to realign them again. Yep. There's a little button back here. I don't know whether you can see it up in the top corner. It's an undo button. How perfect is that? Okay, I'm going to add a drop shadow to these now, and I'll just bring that in just a little bit so that they're not so full. Actually, I don't know whether I like that on there. You know what, I'm going to hit the delete button, and we'll see what we can do later on with that. Okay, now I need to have a frame behind it. So the next thing, I came down to my global search and just put frame into it, and to see what I could get, see what was already on here. And I used the Downtown Grunge, again, frame #1, and inserted that. Now I did want this a lot bigger than what it is, and considering I probably won't print this, what happens is when you try and enlarge some of them say that they'll pixelate when they're printed, but because I probably won't print this one, I'm not going to be too fussed, because I actually do want it fairly big. So I'm just going to get that out of the way for the moment. Shift that out of the way. And then I grab my photos and pop them on top. Now I need to bring these to the front so that the frame is behind. So just click bringing forward until it does actually come forward. You know what? I've got the wrong one highlighted. Bring forward, and it's done it to me again. I'll do it over here. There we go. That's what I was after. And the great thing about this is that you just keep rearranging things until you get it the way you want it. Okay, now the next step I did was just to add some designer paper. So I'm going to do this a little bit differently than what I did originally, and I'm going to use photo boxes for it again when I find my photos tab. Okay, so I'm going to add a photo box, and you can make this to the size that you want as well. So I need it to sort of come down below both of them, the frame. Okay, so that's the size that I pretty well want, and I'm going to copy it and paste it because I want one exactly the same size, but I just want it to bring down just a little bit. Okay, then what I did is I want to fill it with paper, so what I need to do is come over to this side, and I need to put my background paper in here. And I think I used the Christmas Jingles designer paper for both of them actually. So I used just open that one up, and then I used a chocolate one to go on the top. And you can make that a little bit smaller if you wish. Click OK, and then for the bottom one, I'm pretty sure I used one of these. So just grab hold of it, drag and drop. Okay, so we need some drop shadows on these, so I'll group them together and add drop shadow. And I actually matted them both as well. So I'm going to just bring it down to a number 1 just for a fine matte, and choose a medium grey, which is going grey. Okay, so that's just outlined them both. Now I need to bring my photos forward again, and one more time, so that they're over it like this. Okay, now next I added some stars, so I've come to my punches and select my star punch, and now I want 4 of them, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I'm going to pop one up here, and then the other 3 will come down along here. Now you can resize them, so I'm just going to enlarge them a little bit. And I'll shrink this one a bit. Okay, now I wasn't sure whereabouts I was going to find more paper, so what I came and did was just typed in Old Olive, because that's the colours that I have used, old olive, and I come up with a variety of different old olive items that I can use. So I can't quite remember which ones I have used, but let's just grab any of them. So we'll do the big dot for this one here. I'll just close that and show you. Whoops, nope, that's not right. Let's delete that. Click this and go to a paper fill. Right, now I should be able to get, now I can type in old olive. Okay, and they'll all be in here. So these are the ones that have old olive in them. So you can click on any of these and it'll bring up the old olive ones. Let's choose the stripe. Okay, and then double click on it, and I actually want to make that stripe a bit tighter. Okay, and I also did 2 old olive ones down here. So again, paper fill and type in olive. And it'll show me again where they are. What else did I use? I think I used that one. And again, double click on it, and I'm going to make that a bit tighter so that there's a bit more pattern. And then click the middle one, paper fill, olive, and which one did I use? Again, shrink that so that we've got a bit more showing. And then for the last one, I went in with my paper fill, and this one is chocolate. So any of them that come up with the chocolate chip is what will get used in this one. Now I need to add my drop shadows because drop shadows are very important. I'll matte it while I'm here, considering I clicked the wrong button. Okay, change the colour, and we want to pick the same colour that we used before, which was the going grey. Okay, now I will drop shadow them, and I'll just move that a tiny bit and click OK. And now I'm just going to add some embellishments into them again. So I'll come down to my global tool again and type in chocolate chip. And I came up with these goodies, all in chocolate chip. So I'm going to grab one of them, and I'm going to grab one of these for my other star, and then I'm going to come back in and see what I can find in old olive. And I had some baker's twine that I wanted to use, but these are all the other, oh, and a brad. So baker's twine, and a brad, and that's it. So I'll just separate these out a little bit so we can see what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to grab the button and bring it to the centre of this star, and I'm just going to increase it lightly just so that it fits into the centre of that star. And then I'm going to pick up the bow and put that just so it's over the top of that nicely. And then I'll do the same down here with this paper one. And then I'm going to pop the brad into the center of that, just so that it covers all those little buttons. So you may need to increase that slightly as well. Oh, not that. Okay, so I'm going to add a few drop shadows. So I want one to my button, one to this little paper, and one to the brad. So drop shadow, and I'll leave as is and just click OK. Now for my text, I'm just going to grab a text box, and we'll see if this works. I may actually need to pop something behind that actually. So I'm just going to come over here, I'm going to cheat, and I'm just going to copy what I've got written here. If I can, which I may not be able to. Anyway, I'll just work off of this one maybe. Oh no, here we go. Nope, it's not going to let me. That's okay. We'll just pretend. Blah, blah. Blah. How about that? Okay, so I'm just going to shrink that down and bring it over the top of here. I think I probably will need to put something behind there. So I'm going to come back to what I was trying to do before, which is to add my square punch. And just line it up. That's better, and we'll colour that. I'm going to choose vanilla to go behind there so it's not quite so stark. And then I'm just going to lower the opacity a little bit so it's not as sharp. Whoops, nothing's going right. That's what happens when you play. Okay, we will leave that normal. Here's our text box. We'll grab our text box and we'll pop that over the top too. Now my little star down here has hidden behind, so I need to bring that to the front. I've got a few layers to bring forward. Might be easier to just put this one behind. You know, nothing really wants to... Ah, there we go, it did it. I was just about to say, nothing wants to go my way today. Okay, there we go. Now, because I've got pictures of my dogs here, my kids and my dogs, I'm going to find a stamp that goes well with dogs. So I came along and found this one here, which is just a little stamp that says bark, bark, bark. Something about being friends. So I'm going to increase this again, and again it'll tell me it will pixelate, but because I'm probably not going to print it out, I'm not going to be so fast. So I want to colour that, so I'm going to come to my colour matching tool, and I'm actually going to pick a deep colour out of this button. And that changes it like this, and then hooray, we are finished. Can you believe it? Actually, I might just pop a drop shadow on that box there. which it's not going to let me do because it's selected the wrong box. Anyway, there's a very, very rough idea on how to do it, see? And if I can manage to get it done, then I'm sure that you can manage to get it done, considering there were so many little muck-ups in that. But you know what? You just keep playing until you get it right. So this was my finished one that I did actually enjoy. And so I do hope you have a go at it. Download the trial version and have a play with it, and you can't go wrong with it. It's, you know, you can't cut cardstock up and then decide that that's not the way it wanted to be. So you can just keep playing until you get it right. So anyway, hope you enjoy, and I'm going to sign off now before I make any more boo-boos. Bye!